Hey, what's happening guys, Chris here with another weapon guide for Battlefield 1, and today we're going to be running over the Taschenpistole M1914, which is one of the game's rapid firing semi-automatic pistols, and this one can be used specifically on a medic loadout. So in the early 1900s, quite a few different full-size pistols were already being produced, and by 1908 the Germans already had several ones to pick from, like the Luger P08 and the C96 for example, which was all well and good, but these were all pretty big and mainly designed for military use. The idea of having a smaller, more affordable pocket pistol which could be easily concealed and used more so for protection rather than something which was designed for battle was a growing concept, and so the pocket pistol, or the Taschenpistole in Germany, started to become more of a popular thing to own. Eager to get some more sales, quite a few weapon manufacturers jumped onto the pocket pistol bandwagon, including Mauser. This led to the development of a brand new set of compact pistols, with the first one being the Mauser 1910, which was chambered for the relatively small 25 ACP cartridge. The model 1910 went on to be a fairly successful handgun, with it selling pretty well in the civilian market, and this set the scene nicely for Mauser's newer, slightly larger model 1914, chambered in 32 ACP. Although it wasn't as beefy or powerful as the other military pistols on offer at the time, the later 1914 model was bought by the German army for use in World War I. Mainly as an alternative for when the bigger guns were in short supply, as the Germans just needed as many good quality guns as possible to arm their troops with. Production of the M1914 continued well after the war, all the way up to around about 1934, which is where the gun's grip was slightly updated and redesigned, and from there went on to become the model 1934. When people think of Mauser pistols, the broom-handled Mauser C96 usually springs to mind the most. But it's best not forgetting the fact that Mauser actually made up to about 1 million pocket pistols overall, in the form of the M1910, the M1914 and the M1934, which still makes them a very successful set of sidearms, even if they're not quite as famous. Now, the Taschenpistole M1914 in Battlefield 1 is a sidearm for the medic class, and statistically it's very similar to the Frommerstopp, Modello 1915 and the 1903 Hammerless. It's got a maximum damage of 26.5 up to 6 meters and a minimum damage of 13.5 beyond 31 meters. So just like the other smaller rapid firing pistols available for each class, the M1914 is capable of taking down another player in 4 bullets up close. But if they're any further than 29 meters away from you, then you might have to land up to 8 direct hits to kill them. On the face of it, the gun can kill in the same amount of bullets as the MLE 1903, but what separates them both is the fact that the MLE has a 6 meter range advantage. With that said, with the Taschenpistole firing faster, this is going to give you a fairly speedy kill time in both CQC and at long distances. Its kill time doesn't just beat the MLE at most ranges, but pretty much all of the other guns for the medic class too, apart from maybe the auto revolver in close quarters. The main contributing factor to that decent kill time is all down to the gun's snappy 450 RPM fire rate, which is a lot faster than anything else that a medic player can equip, be it a secondary or primary weapon. Because medics are kitted out with self-loading rifles which don't really fire at blazing speeds, it can often be a wise choice to opt for the M1914 for this reason, as it's a great gun to whip out to quickly finish someone off with, though you're going to need to have a pretty fast trigger finger if you want to take out an enemy with full health. Its deploy time isn't quite as fast as the Scout's Frommerstopp, and the MLE 1903 is still going to be the quickest option to swap over from your rifle. But the M1914 is still nimble enough to draw and shoot quickly, and in those situations where you might have landed 2 shots with the Selbstlader 1906 or the Autoloading 8, but completely emptied the gun from ammo in the process, then it's times like this where the M1914 speed can come into play nicely, as you'll be able to get a few last second shots out to chip away at the remaining chunk of your enemy's health bar, taking them out of the fight. Because the Taschenpistole has a fairly steady recoil pattern with a vertical kick of 1 and a horizontal value of 0.4, it's not going to jump around too much and you should be able to remain on target fairly easily, which is a pretty important factor for a gun which takes so many bullets to kill. It's not quite as accurate as the MLE 1903 or the C96, and so you might notice that not all of your bullets are going to go exactly where you want them to as you open fire. And because you'll mainly be spamming the trigger in most gunfights to take advantage of that increased RPM, then that kill time is going to be a bit slower when a couple of rounds stray away from where you're aiming. But generally 1 or 2 missed shots isn't going to be the end of the world, especially when you're firing at 450 RPM. And with the M1914 having an ammo capacity of up to 9 rounds, 1 more than the Frommerstopp, then it's more than enough to deal with most enemies if you're taking them on 1 at a time. The M1914 actually has a slightly quicker reload time than the other 450 RPM pistols for the other classes when the gun's running on empty, and it's only going to take about 1.4 seconds to swap magazines. So if those 9 rounds just aren't quite enough to do the job, then it's not going to take you very long to reload and get back into the fight. So overall, the Taschenpistole M1914 is the medic's fastest firing sidearm, though its bullets aren't going to pack quite as much of a punch as the other medic pistols. Its damage and range is generally lower than average, but that doesn't mean that it's a rubbish weapon, as that fast fire rate allows it to kill effectively over most ranges. With the gun holding up to 9 rounds and having one of the quickest reload times overall in the game means that managing ammo shouldn't be too problematic, despite taking more ammo to kill. You might need to have fast reflexes and a quick trigger finger, but if you want a faster firing solution to swap over from your medic rifle, then the M1914 is definitely going to provide. So that's all I've got for you in this one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the guide, give me a thumbs up on your way out and subscribe for loads more videos. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.